from basically what's going to go in your grow, and then take that into consumer education. There's sort of two steps here, and they, as we mentioned before, they kind of interplay with each other. And there's this concept about this price and potency kind of leading the market. High THC, lower prices are really the best sellers. And Gary, I wanted to start with you elaborating on that and how that actually influences what's going on when you decide what you're putting in the ground, right? Like what does that look like?
Sure. I mean, it's clear price and potency is still selling, especially in the newer parts of the market. So anything from sort of the middle of the country to the right. I think what you're seeing, though, is a maturing of that. I mean, in the early days when we were all growing up or went to college or something, right, price and potency, you would always find the cheapest alcohol you could drink with the highest content, and that's how you got through. But that can't be where the market continues to play this many years into the space. I think people are starting to look now for the more full experience. If you go to any of the markets where you can have sort of that deli style, smell the nose of the flower, you start to find that some of the best smelling flower doesn't have the highest THC percentage. There's a whole other part of the plant out there for you. So as people start to think about that and the products you can create off of that, it does influence what you put into the ground. And say the education too, I think, has to happen really with the bud tender. You can't have enough bud tender education. I can't tell you how many dispensaries I go into, you step up and they just spin the screen around, and then it's in order either by the potency, by the price, or by the newest drop, and that's the entire interaction you have, and then you're in and you're out in 10 minutes if you're lucky. I think there, if we can do more to bring the bud tenders up to speed so it becomes a consultative sell, then I think the consumer will come along with it, because they don't know. They're coming into kind of a hostile environment when you go to buy cannabis, right? You got to go through the security, you have to do it. You don't do that in anything other industry. You just walk into the supermarket, you get what you want, you get out. There you have to go through this process, and then you finally get up, it's your turn, and you're locked up. You don't know what you really want, and we're not helping them really develop what their palate could turn into.
Great. Yes.
Yeah, and I think too, have an identity. I think Brett said it, right? Pick your identity. What is the hook that makes you and your operation what it is, so that every product you roll out fits that identity, so the consumer starts to equate that identity with the product you're going to give, so they don't have to get so strain specific or terpene specific. They just know that, okay, XYZ brand, this is what I usually get out of that. And I think then finding that identity is the key, because there's so little identity still out there. Even the brands that are taking hold don't have that true identity where every experience is consistent. So I think that's the other piece that kind of fits right in with what Will's saying.
Absolutely. I could talk about that forever. With our last few seconds,